Hello, viewers. Tonight, I am going to continue reading Uncle from Another World, which was a manga that I had begun some time ago reading on this channel. I happened to get a comment where a person basically was interested in me continuing that series, and even though I get very low views on these videos, I decided, well, if people ask me to continue reading, I will continue reading. Now, for those of you who do not know, these videos are unprofessional narrations coupled with commentary. So, what I will be doing is reading, and occasionally I will give commentary. So, if you want a video with straight commentary, this is not that video. But I do quite like this manga. I know there is an anime, but usually I basically don't watch anime, and usually when I happen to read manga, I translate it from Japanese myself with translators. I do something a bit different. But in order to get people interested in different manga, and essentially to share, I do read some of the English translations that people do. Some of them can be good, some of them not so good, but I suppose this one is okay at the very least. Anyhow, viewers, I think I should get started. So apparently it's December 31st, 2017. I remember the urban areas overrun by the aliens and alien storm were like this. There's definitely something about empty streets and cold air that can put you on edge. No kidding. It's a far cry from the end of the year back in the other world. Uncle? Curious to hear more? Yeah. What if aliens attacked right now? Where would you be? Would you be one of the fleeing masses, or would you be different? That was how they advertised it. You played as an alien buster who would... Not that part. Is that a newsstand manga mag? You haven't read any in 17 years. Well, I kinda missed my old tradition of reading manga over New Year's Eve, so do you even know any of those stories? Also, before we continue, we are going to have some cultural references in this manga. Like, he was talking about a movie called Alien Storm. Alien Storm is, it was made some time ago. Basically, it was a movie about aliens. It's a real movie. You will see as you read this manga. I don't know if this is particular to the original Japanese or not, but basically they mark things out, like letters out, so they won't get in copyright trouble for using an intellectual property that they do not own. That's what they do in a lot of art, I've noticed. Let's continue. So he's asking, hey, do you even know any of the stories of the newspaper stand manga mag? And they're going to particularly be talking about Shonen Jump. Basically, weekly shonen magazine. Apparently, it's a big tradition in Japan. It's very old. So he saith, you don't need to know the story to read Koshikami in Jump. So Koshikami is, this was a particular manga that was pretty big. It lasted for about, 40 years? Shonen Jump is about, 50 or so years old, or older than that? I have no idea. I think it's older than that. It's over 50, I believe. But anyhow, yeah, it's pretty old. And apparently, and he saith, Koshikami ended. What? You can end Koshikami? And of course, it's disappointment, complete disappointment. You're not going to find it in there. Anyway, before moving on to manga, I'd like to hear more about that other world stuff you mentioned. You're not going to find it in the table of contents either. Oh man. Icarus Elron. His little spell to basically cause amnesia so he won't remember bad things he does not like. Anyway, it wasn't anything special, just a party that was like an end of the year function. The Winter Passage, Thanksgiving to the gods. The whole Otherworld stuff is like some European fantasy land, which is kind of interesting. Heavy German influences, I would say, that maketh a good deal of sense when one considereth the alliance that Japan had with Nazi Germany. There was a real favoritism toward Germany and to some extent Dutch due to some Dutch explorers who came to Japan. It was a festival they held in northern regions where the local lords would throw a feast for everybody. Wow, a grand banquet. A festival event, huh? The Otherworlders were always in high spirits at that party. And on days like that, even I. Okay, everybody. Everybody's celebrating. It's time to party! Woo! In his mind, no. Wish I could have gotten as excited as that. And of course, he's sitting by himself. Everyone else is partying. Everyone else is enjoying themselves. He is eating his chicken by himself. Or drinking his beer or whatever they have there. Mead. We can imagine everybody's talking and enjoying themselves. And he is alone. Once again, the aspect of early in the manga, him saying, oh, I'm an ugly person. He does not look like an ugly person by any stretch of the imagination. But in this manga, you particularly have some things that make it seem as though, or rather that indicate some peculiar Japanese insecurities regarding racial characteristics. Everyone in the other world looks European. And the man is saying, oh, I'm such an ugly person. But when you look at the man, he looketh like any average person. He really is not such a strange looking individual. If anything, by the standards of generalized beauty, he has long hair for his age. He has a full head of hair. His face may be a bit, how should I say, strong looking in the face, but if anything, that's a very good quality for men, especially, and in some women if you like some if you have some interesting tastes. It all depends. But I would have to say that it's very interesting. He's alone. He feels like the outcast, but he's not really concerned about it. All he careth about is video games, by and large, for the most part in his life. Let us continue. It's very interesting. My disposition in the other world was no different from how it was in the real world. I ate some food and went back to my inn. Huh? Okay. The nephew is thinking, how can you squander opportunities like this to be in such an interesting world of European fantasy land, and you're just unbothered by everything. All right. Ah, that was some good food. That chicken was. I don't care about the food. That's really all you did at a festival? Okay, let's go down. So he's confused. Yeah. What about the bad mouthing girl? Now, of course, he's talking about the tsundere. A tsundere, and I think we talked about this in an earlier episode, is a character. She acts cold, she acts harsh, she acts aloof, like she doth not care about you, but she gradually reveals a warm, affectionate side, so to speak. Okay. Now, let me see what else was in this and what I was doing. Oh, she was gone by then. Nothing happened after that either. Okay, he's just got this kind of look on his face like, I mean, is everything alright? I'm not really concerned about the girl. So Uncle, want to play some Saturn? Whatever game you like. Oh, really? Heck yeah, let's do it. I guess this is the sound of. I don't know what sound he's making. He's making GH. So I don't know if that's the click of the buttons or not. You're gonna ruin those buttons, Uncle. Irk. Okay, he's kind of angry because he's pressing the buttons really hard. And of course, equipment like Sega Saturn, I imagine controllers and things like that could, it's kind of it's a very old console. It could even be older than me. I don't know how old Sega Saturn is. It's very old. Excuse me. Oh yeah. I remember after the party, Maybell with the God-freezing sword paid me a visit in my inn room. Mabel. You know? Yeah, sure. Okay, fighting time. Huh? Okay. So this was the girl that we saw in the last chapter who was freezing in the cave or what have they. I want to hear this. What? What's the big idea, Takafumi? We just got through the talking part. Spill, huh? I mean, nothing special happened. Look. Okay. He really wants to know what happened. So here we go. Change of scene. What are you doing here? I want you to teach me something. Okay, surprised. It's like, wow, I want to, really know what's going to. Takafumi really wants to know how this is going to end. You slew a dragon on your own. I want to be strong like you. I've been holed up in my room with my heart closed off, but I want to change my useless self. This is the same Maybell? Seif Takafumi, he's right here. Because I remember they have like the TV screen or something, they're looking in the past. She went out of her way to track down my uncle, to ask him for life advice, but... Okay. How can I stop being so useless and be as powerful as you? My uncle only experiences life through the lens of video games. Will he give her a proper answer? Your useless self. Who says you're useless? The mayor and others. Don't let anybody tell you how to live your life. People should live their lives the way they want. The power to do that is what strength is. That's what I think. He's killing it. Okay, it's very interesting. Wow, my uncle's a great guy. So, how long have you lived your life? How have you lived your life so far? That's it. One step at a time. I guess this is Takafumi's thoughts as he's thinking, watching this, and think, yeah, you tell her. I've spent it living in my room with my heart closed off. That's okay. Heart moment to moment with a friend in an alternate world. Takafumi, he really likes what he is seeing. It's very exciting to him. What? But that's okay. I never cared about whatever others told me. I was a Sega lifer. And I always will be. Okay, basically what he is saying, Sega no longer makes consoles. Sega has been heavy in Yakuza money and Yakuza influence. Some people at the company even have their fingers cut off. Alright, Sega basically, they deal in those little machines, whatever you call them, that people do illicit gambling with, and you can't gamble in Japan. It's against the law, but there's a type of machine that has balls in it. Alright, and people use that for I forget the name of it, but basically you have to go out to people out in the front of this particular establishment and you get money. And apparently Sega is heavy in Yakuza influence and money. Sega had their last console was the Sega Dreamcast. Sega has not made consoles since, and Sega has been in basically a bad situation in terms of games. They have the Yakuza series, and they really do have Yakuza influence in their games series. I'll put it that way. In their games, in terms of games they make and the company. In other words, this actual real life Yakuza influence. But also, in regard to Yakuza, I always talk about the fact that Yakuza are cowards. If any Yakuza are watching this now, I will never forget the story I had saw on a particular history program where they were talking about how there were homeless people who were in the front of a building, who were living in a particular building, and they were using Yakuza to basically bully these homeless people. So all of my respect for Yakuza, I don't have any respect for Yakuza, to put it simply. They're weird. They think they're samurai. Some of them are highly nationalistic. They want to worship. Some of them still worship the imperial family. To me, they're weird people. Anyhow, let me continue. Will you be one of the masses who pick out their consoles based on what others tell them? Or will you be different? Basically, he is saying, I know Sega, is the underdog even back in that time. But he's saying, I like Sega. I don't care what anyone says. And it's basically telling this girl, giving her some good life advice. Like, who cares if they tell you to play PlayStation? I will always play Sega. Okay? Alright? I mean, he's not going to play Nintendo. No, he wants to play Sega. He's a Sega lifer. Sega for life. Alright? And she says, can I? You can. And she is happy. She does not know what the hell this guy was saying, but she's thinking, wow, this guy, he really taught me something. I really learned something. And Takafumi is just putting his hand to his head, thinking, oh my goodness, my uncle is a complete idiot. I thought that this man had some common sense. I thought he was teaching this girl something. He isn't teaching this girl anything. He's teaching her about consoles and being a console fan. A Sega fan. Yes. I can stay in my shell. I can stay like this. Oh, I'm so happy. Basically, the girl has learned nothing. She kind of thinks, hey, I can go back, go back to the cave, back to the village or something. I don't need to really do anything because basically the lesson that he taught was basically useless. And once she found her way again, she went back to her village. Oh? And basically, that I guess that's his response to her on the television screen or computer or whatever they're watching this on. Classic uncle right there. Classic uncle. Doesn't teach the girl anything. I got a sword from her too. Here, take the god freezing sword. Nah, it's too cold. You can keep it. Oh, right, I turned it down. Anyway, you get the idea. How about some soba, uncle? Want to have some New Year's Eve soba? Oh, sure. I heat it up. I heat up the water then. So, of course, the soba they're going to be eating is something tanuki, green tanuki. Okay. Um, yeah, green tanuki. I think they're gonna talk about a brand, but the only one I could find was Marushan. Um, I've never eaten it, but anyhow, I wanted to get the particular packets to show you, give context to this reading. That's the great thing about not having a straight commentary. I mean, it may be messy as hell, but at least you can get side information. What did you do on New Year's Eve as a kid? Video games, I'm guessing. Oh, I'd watch shows like the It's Okay to Laugh show, New Year's Eve special. Okay, for those of you who do not know, IMDb page. I was kind of surprised they had this on the IMDb page. They have all types of things on this website. But it was a show that ran 1982 to 2018. It was a variety show, comedy show. It was hosted by Tamori. Japanese television is something quite interesting, I have to say. Funny stuff, wild stuff, very funny. Okay, so since he came back, it's like 2017 or something like that. Of course, the show is off the air. Um, and so, oh, you watched that stuff, huh? It felt special because I had school and I couldn't catch it at the usual noontime slot. It's okay to laugh is off the air, you know. Are you serious? They can end that? Yeah, they can. Then then again, it has been 17 years. I guess that's to be expected. It ran up until 3 years ago, though. That's a pretty darn long time. How awesome! My uncle's kind of funny. Koshikame ran up until last year, too. Huh? This is terrifyingly heartbreaking. All of the things he remembered as a child are gone. Terrible. Awful. It seems like Uncle watched a surprising amount of TV. What sorts of shows do you watch, Takafumi? You probably aren't familiar with No Laughing. What happened to Tomo-san? It's not a sequel. So basically, I think he thinks it's a sequel to It's Okay to Laugh, but it's not, and it's different. So we greeted the new year with gaming, web browsing, and green Tanuki brand instant soba. So that's it. Kind of fun doing this again. It hath been some time. This was enjoyable. I dare to say. I may be doing this more than likely, very soon. This does help me practice speaking after so long of not doing a video. So I'd say I may do another one very soon. Anyhow, viewers, may you be blessed and farewell.